Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. This is A Shot of Whiskey, and it's time to once again go through the agony of the wage gap myth. This time, we're going to be tortured by a quote-unquote legit news source, CNBC. Perhaps our acronym really stands for Creating Nonsensical Brain Cancer, because not only are they dumb for believing this stuff, but this specific video is supposedly designed to equip its believers into mentally arming themselves when debating against those of us who understand how reality works. And it uses ridiculously pathetic arguments that have already been addressed. It's pretty damn bad. Like BuzzFeed level bad, which has already been pointed out in their comments section. Yet from what I've seen, there haven't been too many response videos made toward this. Heck, the only one I've seen is from this fine bit of beauty and brains. I'll leave a link to her channel so y'all can check out her content if you want. Until then, are you ready?
I can't take it anymore! I just want to die! We all want to die!
The gender pay gap is not real.
Holy shit, that is one creepy intro.
Skeptics of the gender pay gap exist,
Yeah, because some people are not sheep.
even though there's extensive research proving it's real.
And there's even more extensive research proving that it's not.
Only 61% of men believe that men make more than women for performing the same jobs.
It sounds like a bunch of morons were surveyed by this LVEST group. Now, you'll see that many of the stats provided are from obviously biased sources. After looking at this LVEST group, it would appear that they are another biased bullshit joke, but one that seems to at least be taking these lies and doing something positive to help women. But let's move on.
But the reality is, US women working full-time earn just 80 cents for every dollar men earned in 2016.
Sorry, Miss Can't Pronounce Women correctly, but that stat is bullshit, and the fact that it's coming from a feminist institute only proves our point that you don't have legitimate facts on your side.
And the gap is even worse when broken down by race.
Same issue, moving on.
Here are 6 common myths you hear about the pay gap and how to convince the deniers that it's real.
Okay, here it comes. Are you intelligent naysayers ready for an IQ dropper?
Women leave the workforce to have children.
It's not that women want to leave their jobs to take care of children, it's that they're forced to.
Sorry, I promise, no more Rick and Morty references.
A lot of men and women in the US don't have paid family leave.
So, how are these women being forced to leave their jobs? They're the ones choosing to make babies, not the companies that hired them. These women are choosing to keep their unborns, which they know will lead to born babies, and thusly, they will have to make a lot of professional sacrifices. And if these adults don't have paid family leave, then maybe they should think with their brains instead of their genitals and not make babies.
Research shows that women will take unpaid family leave, but men refuse to.
That's because biology and evolution have structured women to be caretakers of babies and children, and men to be providers. Men work so as to take care of the families they make.
When women in the workforce have children, research shows they experience a pay cut, but when men have kids, they get a pay increase. Experts call it the fatherhood bonus.
No. Well, not entirely. Women get a pay cut in the form of them working less hours, if any hours at all. They are taking care of babies, not company needs. Meanwhile, men will work more hours since there is a new person for them to be responsible for. Sure, there's probably some companies that will give new parents a bonus, or more likely a gift, but it's usually simply that a daddy will work more hours and a mommy will work less. Your experts are morons.
And even when women decide to stay in the workforce and never have kids, we're still seeing a pay gap.
That's because they are less likely to be driven to work extra hours compared to new fathers. There's a good chunk of your gap right there.
Men simply work harder and work longer hours.
I don't think so.
Well, I do think so.
On average, women spend more time than men doing housework and caring for kids and older family members.
That's completely irrelevant to an occupational-focused discussion. Besides, if anything, this is proof that point number 1 is 100% accurate.
And while women are at home doing domestic work, men are able to log more continuous work hours, resulting in a pay premium. So women have an unpaid second shift that subsidizes men's work.
So you're admitting that part of this non-problem problem is that women choose to stay at home more and men choose to work more. This is too easy. You're debunking your own argument, lady.
And what do you mean all day? What about all the housework? I did it in like an hour. I don't understand why you're such a freaking martyr all the time. It's a house. It's a finite area. I'm not cleaning a town.
Men are more educated
Than women.
false.
That depends on what one refers to by education. Heads up, they're going to present some facts, but they're also going to omit key variables, either due to incompetence or deceit. Well, these are feminists after all.
Women earn about 56% of all bachelor's degrees in the United States.
And most of those degrees are worthless and have nothing to do with many blue-collar jobs that more and more men go into. Are they even trying to think?
Research has found that as an increasing number of women are seeking higher education, the pay gap is shrinking. But if you compare men and women with the same level of education, the pay gap is even larger. Men are rewarded disproportionately for earning the same credentials as women.
Okay, let's pretend that I'm going to take these comments completely seriously, even though I know that they are coming from a source that's more biased than Alex Jones. For starters, having a degree doesn't guarantee having the exact same level job as someone with the same level of degree. Encompassing all bachelor degrees together is disingenuous, as well as all masters, and most definitely doctorates. They are also ignoring the other 2 points mentioned earlier, about women being more likely to choose motherhood over employment. That plays a role in it too. Here's an idea. Maybe they should do more to convince young women to get into STEM fields instead of gender studies. And I now feel like a broken record.
Women don't know how to negotiate.
Hasn't this been proven to be true by feminists in the past?
It's true that women are less likely to negotiate job offers,
Okay, so what's the point of your argument?
but that's because when women ask for higher salaries, they are viewed as high maintenance, demanding, and often penalized.
That sounds like shenanigans to me. For now, I'm gonna say, don't be a bitch when you negotiate. I think a lot of it has to do with approach. Oh, and try doing more to show that you deserve a pay raise. I know that can be challenging, and yes, I am speaking from experience on that.
Negotiating skills can't combat gender bias and discrimination.
Can you prove that this is even a thing? I have yet to see any proof that this is currently a legitimate reason for the problem.
Men pursue higher paying careers.
That's completely true.
Women are not deliberately setting out to find lower paying jobs. The jobs that women do are valued less than men's.
No, they pay less than the ones that are pursued by men more. Nurses should not be paid as much as neurosurgeons. Preschool teachers should not be paid as much as engineers. So yes, women choose less paying careers. Now, what's really annoying about her recent claim was that her words are completely different than the text on the screen.
And as women enter a field, the wages drop. When a large number of women became designers, wages fell by 34%. When they became biologists, wages dropped by 18%.
That wasn't because they were women entering the force. It was because more people were entering into these positions. The companies that employ people can only expand so much, and more companies coming into existence can only cover so much ground.
Oh, wow.
Oh, gee. Okay.
That's not very promising.
It's just 20 cents, and that barely makes a difference. Really?
You know, I can honestly say that I don't think I've ever heard anyone make that argument, except maybe when talking about a McDonald's burger. But as far as the non-wage gap is concerned, I suppose someone could have said that, or something like that, when discussing the entirety of the true original source. You know, the average of every single full-time employed adult. I doubt that this is where they're going with this, though, but let's see if I'm right.
For full-time workers in the US, a 20-cent difference comes out to about $10,000 a year on average.
Okay, so I wasn't sure where they were getting this figure, so I looked up the report by going to the Department of Labor's website, link in the description below, and I did that word finding thing. $10,000 is only mentioned once, and here it is. As you can see here, what the document is actually saying is that the amount is part of a theoretical comparison, not a fact-based difference. So either they are lying by picking some random number, which feminists have been known to do that sort of thing, or they may have concocted the number using figures elsewhere.
That amount can make the difference between poverty and financial security.
It can, depending on what the actual earning is and several other life-relevant decisions. For example, I currently make about $36,000 a year. Now, $10,000 less than that is tough to live on, no doubt, if you're by yourself. However, $10,000 more would be remarkable, especially if you're like me, the only source of income in your home, and have other people to take care of. To make this easier, let's say that a 26,000 person is living with another 26,000 person. The household has a combined 52K. My solo 36K is lousy compared to that combined household, especially considering how many bills I pay. Even though adding another 10 to my current amount would be less than the combined 52,000, it would be much better than the current 36K I am at now. And of course, let's not get into the obvious distinction of those earning 6-digit incomes and how 10,000 more is just something extra nice to have. Point is, this is all about perspective.
It's clear that the gender pay gap does exist.
Only in your head.
And now you have 6 arguments to use to prove the naysayers wrong.
Only if the naysayers have an IQ below 80 and tend to vote Democrat, which, let's face it, is the vast majority of people who believe in the wage gap. The rest of the video is a dumb catchphrase that in itself deserves to be mocked, and some lady encouraging us to subscribe to CNBC, or possibly Pornhub. I wonder if any of these leftist garbage news sources will ever make an effort to hear what the opposition has to say in response. We all know BuzzFeed hasn't done so.
How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
Why are you surprised when women are funny?
In what world does no mean yes?
Why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open?
Why is it so bad to show your emotions?
Why the f isn't it ladylike to cuss? When did words get gender?
Why are you so afraid of gender equality?
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
In what world does 77 cents equal $1?
In what world does 68 cents equal $1?
How is that fair?
Why are you intimidated by a woman who makes more money than you? That's awesome! More money!
Cowardly, hateful bigots. That's what they are. Well, thanks for tuning in once more, everyone. Until next time.